Electro, where's the guide? Uh, Hi, what do you mean? Th- Uh, this Conquer's Blade guide? You know? We thought you would make another guide, you know? No. You see, I was playing this game lately, and I just can't get my mind of it. And I want to tell you guys all about it. What I think about it, and what how I would rate it. And I hope you guys will enjoy it. So, uh, please get out of my room and just watch the video. Thank you. So, why this game? You might ask. Well, as I said before, I played this for a while, for almost a month now, and I really like it. And I want to show you the game. So, as seen by the title, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. A game that came out 5 years ago. How does it hold up in 2020? Well, that's what I want to tell you guys. So, what do I want to show you? Well, I think there are three important things for a game, or better said, a third person shooter game are graphics, gameplay, and story. So, not every game has to rely on this, but you know. Why those things? Well, the first person shooter games are always saying, I got the best graphics ever. Look at these trees, they're so realistic. And OMG, we got the best graphics. But does it hold up? You know? And gameplay, if the game looks good with graphics, that's cool and all, but are the controls good? Are the cars good control, and so on and so on? It's fun to play it. And the story. Some games don't have a story at all, like Minecraft, but they're still good because they have a story every time you play, so you can make your own story. But a game with a story, like Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Solid 5, or you know, any other game that's a first-person shooter, the story needs to be interesting to listen to, or else you or me in this case will just fall asleep and stop playing. Like, you're not gonna play a first-person shooter game with a story that's boring. And remember, again, I just want to state I'm not a pro at game reviews. This is the first time I'm doing it, so I will look at this game the best that I can, and with an unbiased opinion. That way you can maybe consider it if you want to play the game as well, if you're done with this video. So if you want to buy it, of course. So, let's start with the graphics. Does the game still hold up today's standards of graphics? Well, yes it does. It's sort of good, even though the game is 5 years old. There are some things that don't look great even on max settings, but when you look at it as in a whole, it looks pretty good. It still holds up. So the real thing I always want to know about a game is the gameplay good? Well, let's start with the main missions. The main missions, also known as the mission list, are the quote-unquote story missions, where almost every mission that you play in the main mission is going to have a cutscene at the start or at the end. But some of the main missions are a repeat of the main mission that you did earlier, where you cannot get spotted in any way, or the mission is over, or the difficulty is set up to max, where every single hit where a single hit can almost kill you, and the AI is not stupid, and it's probably a killer robot AI that won't kill you. The side option missions are something else. A rare amount of the side missions are still quote-unquote story missions, but the most of these side missions are kill this armored unit, or capture this guy, or rescue this prisoner, or clear this minefield for us. So these missions are mostly an easy way to get money and make you more aware of the ways that you can finish these missions. I think these missions are a bit, I don't know, boring, because there are a lot of these missions. A lot of these missions are repeated a lot of times. So a few are not too bad, but there are so many that finishing all the side missions can be a chore after a while. And they're also broken. It can be just my PC or the game, but when I finish a mission, a side mission, it does show as cleared, but it says I need to do it again, but I don't know why I need to do the mission again. A good example is a prisoner rescue mission that needs to be done in a city in Afghanistan. That's one of the mission maps. I did this one in a row with some other side missions, but I cleared the town and rescued the prisoner, and got out to do the next side mission. After I did all the side missions in the area, I extracted myself with a chopper and got back to Mother Base. I checked my side mission list, and wouldn't you know it, and there it was, still standing active, like I didn't finish it. I don't know what was up, but I did it again with some other side missions that were new in the list, and I finished the side mission again. But it was still ready to be done again, but I was fed up with it and didn't do it. It's still, I probably did it 5 times, this exact prisoner rescue mission. Yeah, probably 5 times, but it's still active. I can still do it. I just don't care anymore. If you do a mission, you can drop yourself off near the mission objective. If you destroy the anti-air radar in the nearby area, though, and you can use your weapons in 2 main ways: going in gun blazing, or go the real way in, sneaky and silently, like where you can take down an enemy and get out with the objective completed without getting noticed. But this is where the game designers really made the game realistically and competitively for its players. But what, you might ask? Well, you don't have a lot of ammo for some weapons, because you cannot just take, 500 rounds for every gun you have on your person like in real life, because you cannot carry that weight. And the suppressor that you can put on some weapons can only silence a certain amount of rounds before breaking, so you can't just go in with a silencer and think you can fire at everyone you want. This does not apply to all guns, so read the description of every gun to find out which guns have a better suppression and which don't even have a suppressor. In-game, there are some buddies that you can team up with during missions. These buddies are D-Horse, D-Dog, the good boy, Quiet, the silent sniper, and D-Walker, the killer transport robot. D-Horse is the first one that you can get, and he's, in my opinion, the least interesting one given to you, and he has no backstory, nor does he have a lot of help actions he can do. He can go to when you're R2, so he can go to you when you whistle at him and say, hey, come over here. He can be used to get close without being seen, and he can be used to go around the maps if you don't have a car. And yes, when I got a car, I left him behind because he was slow. Every vehicle that's in the game is like 10 times faster than D-Horse is, and D-Horse has not even a long sprinting time, so you cannot let him sprint the entire time. D-Dog is a buddy that I got late in the story, because you need to go to a certain spot to find and extract him to Mother Base. But when you find him, he will be a small wolf pup with a scarred eye, so cute. And after some time, he can be used to go with you on missions with you, because he's okay. And after some time, he can be used to go with you on missions to go on missions with you, but he first needs to be trained. But when he's trained, he's pretty good for missions. He can attack animals and enemies from a certain distance, so you don't have to view them in your... you don't have to scan them yourself, he does that for you. And he can kill / knock out the enemies to help you out in battle or in missions. It's a sniper that you can get when you go to a certain spot in-game again. She will go with you to Mother Base and quote-unquote bond with you, and then you can take her on missions with you. She can scout outposts and towns for you and reveal some enemies, so you don't have to do it yourself. And she can take up an attack position to attack enemies. And she can take up an attack position to attack enemies she has a direct line of sight of. When she sees an enemy, when she sees a enemy she thinks is good to take down, she will hum over the radio to let you know, and you will see the target that she wants to shoot at. D-Walker is something else though. It can be upgraded to have a better understanding of what's going on or have better guns, that kind of stuff. But best of all of this, D-Walker can drive you around the map if you don't have a vehicle. So D-Walker is just a 2.0 version of D-Horse. It's better in all aspects except driving around the maps, because D-Walker is a bit hard to handle when driving around sharp corners in my opinion. Every game has some different maps or a big map where you don't get bored until the game truly ends, or the story ends. That's however not the case here. There are only 3 maps in total in this game. 2 quote-unquote battle maps where you can fight and do missions, and one passive map. This passive map is Mother Base. Mother Base is where the story mostly unfolds and where you can talk and interact with your soldiers and officers by talking to them or standing near to them. You can also do a few projects there, but they're scripted. So they're not something that you can order to make. It's more that the AI or the story tells you that it now can be made, and it does it for you. In the 2 battle maps is where the missions truly happen, and a little bits of the story unfolds there as well, but that's on rare occasions. These maps are Afghanistan and the South Mongolian Gjer border region. That's how the maps are called. They are a good size, big that you sometimes need to use a vehicle to travel around, but not that big that you feel that you feel the need to drive for an hour to get to one side of the map to the other. But what I think is the worst about the battle maps is that there are only 2. Yes, no, I know that's a little bit... It's not easy to make a game map and make a story for it as well, but because you want to finish all the main missions and all the side missions, and because of that, you learn almost every pixel of both maps, and that way you get bored of both maps real quick. While I'm recording this, I am not finished all the side missions, but I know almost every road, outpost, city on both maps, and even sometimes the bulk cycles of enemies. So, and when I do some side missions, I get bored out of my mind to see the same house, town, road, enemy every time. But that's what I think about it, though. Let me know what you think about it. As I said before, you might want to use a vehicle to get around the map, so the game gives you some options of vehicles that you can use around to drive around the map. The options are 2 different types of Jeep, 2 different types of trucks, 4 different types of armored vehicles with guns / rockets. Yes, rockets. Yes. And 2 types of tanks. I think the jeeps and trucks are fine. They drive you around the map and do their job. You know, they're cars. But the armored vehicles and the tanks, oh yeah, there's something else. The armored vehicles are so nice that I fell in love with them right away. I fell in love with them right as the first time I got into them. They're not invincible, but I feel like I am when I'm driving one. Just driving through an enemy outpost and guns blazing at everyone that stands in your way feels so good when you die to the same outpost or same town for so many times before. Like, holy bagels, it's so good. So good. When playing, you can find resources, and you can find a lot of soldiers, because they're your enemy, around the map. You can extract both of these things to Mother Base, where they will be processed for your use. Resources can be upgraded, can be used to upgrade Mother Base or upgrade weapons, and the soldiers can be recruited and can be put in different departments inside Mother Base. These departments can be used for your intel, the health of your soldiers on Mother Base, unlocking new weapons or outfits, or they can be used to attack, because they get their own missions where you can help them. They can attack different, they can do their own little missions, or they can defend Mother Base against enemy threats. So use your resource and soldiers good, or else someone's gonna steal them. So that's the most important gameplay I want to talk about. So let's start with the next bit. Story. Just a heads up, I will be talking about the story in some aspects, so spoilers ahead, and you have been warned. So let's start. So, when you start the game, your chopper gets shut down by someone, I don't know who yet, or you don't know who yet, and you wake up in a hospital in Cyprus 9 years later, where some secret organization wants you dead. You encounter a ghost girl and a fiery boy, and you get quote unquote saved by the guy sleeping in the bed next to yours in the hospital by escaping in an ambulance that later crashes. Man, you have really bad luck. But you're lucky because you wake up after a crash and some ocelot guy saves you and brings you to Afghanistan, where you save some guy that worked for you before your first Mother Base got wrecked. You save him, you go home to the new Mother Base. Some things happen, and you're on a trail to get the guys that shot you down and try to kill you in the hospital. But you encounter Quiet, and you have to defeat her. You can only defeat her, but you can defeat her and take her back to Mother Base, because she has weird superpowers. But oh no, she escapes right before you lift off in your chopper. Oh well. Then there's a cutscene where you get attacked by a fighter jet by a fighter surprise, and surprise, she's still there and helps you to defeat the fighter jet, or Quiet helps you defeat the fighter jet. And then you arrive back at Mother Base. By the way, I didn't know that this surprise she's still here cutscene and the fighter jet cutscene, because it didn't play for me, so I thought, oh no, she's gone, oh well. And then I arrived later at Mother Base with Quiet in the chopper with me, so I was really confused when I saw that, but you know, okay. Then you get some scientists that helps the enemy, or you know, the Soviets in Afghanistan by building a big ass robot, and you fight this robot for like 3 seconds and you get back to base. Then you go to Africa, find out that the enemy has developed a deadly speaking parasite that kills people that talk a certain language. So you find out how to kill this parasite and do kill it eventually. You fight the main villain, just like, hands up boy, and he gets killed by the big ass robot that he wants to control, and you kill the big ass robot. During all of this, the ghost child is doing some shenanigans, just flying around, and the fiery boy, I don't know, he looks Soviet or something, and he gets killed, so that's cool. But again, during all of that, you save some child soldiers and they rebel against you later and steal the big ass robot that you stored at your base. Cool. So that's the whole game, but you may ask, how does it end? Well, I will tell you, but again, if you want to play this game and you don't want to know how it ends, please skip this part by clicking the timestamp I put in the description so you don't have to hear it. Or don't have to hear this spoiler, the biggest spoiler in the entire game. So this is the end. You can click off now if you don't want to know it. Okay? Right, they're gone. So, Elect Wizard, how does the game end? Well, do you get the big ass robot back and save the day or not? Well, that's what I thought as well, but it ends like this. You redo the first mission where you wake up in the hospital and so on and so forth, but you know what happens next? You see what happens with the guy that was in the ambulance with you. Well, like, what happens to him? Well, he is you. What? Yeah, you get your face redone while you're in the hospital, like you get a face reconstruction, and you become Big Boss. The guy that saves you is the real Big Boss. So you become his doppelganger by getting a face construction and take his place to become the new leader of the new water base. That's how the game ends. It's a big, well, almost a game killer for me. Like, you get set up like for this, this is how it's going to end, this is how the game is going to end, but nope, it's going to end like this. But what do I think of the whole game? Well, first, let's talk about the big pros and cons that made and killed the game for me. The pros were the cutscenes. They were filmed / made so good that you felt that you just felt what Big Boss feels, and you feel like you were in some cases, and you felt like you were there in some cases. It felt so awesome. It was really good. Just really great work with the camera, really great work just involving the stories. It's really amazing in my opinion. And for me, the gameplay was really great. I felt I was crawling on the ground when I was infiltrating an outpost or town, or when I finished an objective. I feel that I really did it. And this is one of these games that does a good job at making you feel that you were playing, that you were on the ground, even though you were not, because you're sitting like me. I'm just sitting on my fat ass at home, but you felt you were there. And that was really good for me. So, what were the big cons then? Was it? Well, one of the big cons I really hate is that the game makes you feel like you're building up for a certain way the game is going to end. No spoilers here. And then it hits you with a left hook and gives you another end to the game. How just another way to end the game, and it feels wrong in my case. Like it builds you like this is going to be the end of the game, and then suddenly it comes out of the left corner. Someone comes up and says, "No, this is the real one." And it just didn't feel good. And this is more suggestion than a complaint for me, though. But I feel like the game could have done something more with the air and the sea, because you don't do anything in the air, then going in and out with your chopper that you can't control. Like, you're not controlling the chopper, someone else does, because you know you cannot fly a chopper, get out, and then suspect that the chopper just flies away. Like, oh, I'm doing this on my own, and just no control over something in the air. It just feels a little bit wrong in my case, and they have done nothing with the sea, even though Mother Base is in the sea. I just think they could have done something with that. Like, it doesn't have to be something big, but there is so much sea around Mother Base. Like, the whole map of Mother Base is just a few platforms, a few roadways to connect these platforms, and then it's only sea. And you do nothing with it. With the sea in all cases. If they were just like, hey boss, you know, in the story, like, hey boss, we found the shipwreck. We found a shipwreck. Would you explore it for us? And maybe put like an Easter egg in there with a small reward, like, you know, I don't know, an achievement or something like that, or a small amount of money. I don't care. That would have been a great way to get something with the sea, because I just felt that the interaction with the sea in the air could have been a great way to get a little bit more interested in the game, because the only interactions that there are really with the sea in the air are more with cutscenes and not real interaction that you can do. But hey, it's their call, it's their game, but you know, I just felt it could have been something great. So, what are my score? I give this game a 8 out of 10, because it's really because of the end of the story. Just because it is just a game changer, a game killer for me, and because of so many side missions, maybe also a little bit, but still an 8 out of 10. But I would still recommend it to everyone. Like, if you're currently watching this and thinking, 8 out of 10, doesn't sound really great, it's not a 10 out of 10, I would still recommend it. It's still pretty great. It is good gameplay, and you don't get bored that quick because of the side missions. Like, the maps are maybe getting boring because of side missions, but the side missions are not that boring. And the missions that your soldiers can complete, because they get their own missions, and you can... There's even a monthly, or what I've seen, a certain tournament every week that you can do, and that was really, really, really awesome in my case. I thought it was really fun. So, if you want to play this 5-year-old game, it's still on Steam. It's still available. You can still buy it. Like, no one's gonna kick your ass when you do it. Probably even it's gonna be even on sale on Steam. Probably like every few weeks. So it's probably gonna cost only maybe a few euros or dollars. So, but I hope you like this video. It's a bit different compared to what I normally do, and I hope that you guys like that. So let me know if you want to see more of this in the description, and I hope to see you again. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good night, a good week, and goodbye.